With the rise of content marketing in general and video marketing in particular, it is understandable why you may be interested in starting a YouTube channel. There are very many benefits of having or creating a YouTube channel, both for personal purposes as well as if you run a business or a side hustle. There's a great deal of benefit that you can get by leveraging the YouTube platform to promote your product and services. And in this particular video, we are going to look at the steps that you should follow or the things that you should consider when setting up a YouTube channel. This is purely because the whole idea of having a YouTube channel or a YouTube platform where you create content, there is a madness to the whole YouTube business. And that's what I would want you to learn today. The things that are important and probably the steps that you need to follow if you are to have a YouTube channel up and running by the end of the day today. What are the things that you should consider when starting or creating your YouTube channel? Number one is the topic or the niche that you are going to cover. This would incorporate or would involve the things that you are going to talk about. And I would think that from the time you are starting a YouTube channel, you already have some knowledge or some skill or some expertise that you can share with the people or with the audience that you want to reach. And there are very many things that you can pick from, but it might be better if you start from where you are good at. Some of the topics that you find on YouTube, and this list is not exhaustive, include things to do with sports, business, you have finance, you have things to do with farming, people talking about cooking, parenting. There are as many things as there are people in the world, and therefore you are not limited to the things that you can talk about. What is very encouraging is the fact that all these topics, all these niches on YouTube, they all have their level of successes. So whatever it is that you decide to talk about or to create videos on, you can bet that you'll be successful in it, especially if you are passionate. The second thing to consider is your target audience. Who are you creating the content for? Who are your audience? This is very important because you are not going to create content for everybody. And if you have done even basic marketing, you will learn that you need to identify that one person that you are creating content for. And you can list down all the things about that particular person, or what you might call a custom avatar. What age are they? What do they do? At what level of their life are they? Do they have kids? Are they working? Are they running their businesses? Are they stay-at-home people? What sports do they like? You need to have an elaborate view or analysis of the person that you are creating content for. This is because your content needs to align with the interests of the person that you are trying to target. That way, you can be able to probably have a great deal of more success than if you did not know exactly who you are targeting. If you look at a number of successful YouTube channels, you'll find that they cover or take care of one or two or three topics, and they target people that are within a certain range. The thing is that you need to set up the channel. This is free to have. You just need to have a Gmail account and then go through the process of setting it up, set up your YouTube channel, and you'll have it running within 30 or within an hour. That is how easy it is to set up a YouTube channel. But of course you can, add the bells and whistles. You can have proper branding, get your channel some colors, get images. All that makes it look a little bit good and better and probably professional. And especially if you are setting up your YouTube channel as a business, then you need to take into account that whole branding element so that then you are communicating or you are consistent either with the colors that you use or how the overall look of the channel is. And you can go on YouTube and look around and see people who have, invested a little bit more time to ensure that their YouTube channel look a little bit more interesting. Fourth thing that you need to have is a content plan. Once you have set up your channel, you know who your target audience is, and you have the topics that you are going to discuss or to cover, then it is good to sit back and have a plan of, the number of days that you are going to create content, how often, and also probably it might be better if you can list down the video ideas that you're going to cover, maybe for a number of months. That way you will not be caught off guard, when you are supposed to create a piece of content and you find yourself that you have what most of the writers refer to as having a writer's block. In this case, having a videos block where you don't have an idea of the kind of video that you want to create. But you can take time, a day or two, to just list down all the ideas that you may have or may think that you want to create a video on. And I have seen people create even 100 topic ideas, 20 topic ideas. It all depends on how much you know about the topics that you want to discuss and the ideas that you want to explore. But you can list as many as you can, and then maybe narrow it down to what you might want to start with. The fifth thing to consider is with regard to the production or recording of your content. And this is where it becomes quite a bit of work, because you need to figure out when you are going to record and the kind of things that you need to make it work. If you are creating very sophisticated kind of videos, then that can take several days to even get the material and the content that you want. If you are recording videos that are, talk heads like this one, and you know the material and you don't need to probably go to the field to do all that, then that can become relatively easy to produce your piece of content. But more important when it comes to production is to figure out how you can be able to make it efficient and easier for you. You probably don't want to be setting up your equipment all the time when you want to do one or two pieces of content. And that's where a lot of people, when it comes to productivity, then do what they refer to as batching, where you sit and record 2 or 3 pieces of content at one sitting. That allows you to be able to achieve more within a very short period of time. And it also ensures that you're in that state of flow, so that when you start recording, you are not stopping after one video. You record 2, 3. I have seen people who have tried to test even doing more than 3 within one single sitting. And then you can just be able to go to the next phases of production, whether it is editing, and then scheduling it and having the content that you did in one day go out several other days. And this is critical, because if you're into the marketing and you want to use or repurpose the content that you have created into the other platforms, then that piece of content that you batch created then becomes your feedstock. And then if you are the one editing, or if you are sending it to an editor, they can be able to create different pieces of content that you can distribute into other platforms. This goes into the next thing that you need to consider, which is with regard to your consistency. YouTube is difficult. A lot of people will tell you this, because there are days you don't necessarily feel like creating content. But if you have promised your audience that you're going to create content on a certain day or a certain time, or they expect you to be producing a piece of content once a week or twice a week, or whatever your schedule is, then it is important that you ensure you show up. Think of your YouTube channel as a TV show. Your favorite show comes on a certain day at a certain time and you expect it over the season that they produce that particular show. After you have created your content, then it is the next thing of ensuring that you optimize that content. And this is where you need to learn or acquire the skill of search engine optimization. YouTube is part of Alphabet, which also owns Google. Those are the two largest search engines in the world, meaning that you can be able to create a piece of content, and by optimizing it, that piece of content can be found through search. When people go into YouTube and try to find out information about whatever it is that you have created content on, your piece of content should be able to come up, whether on the YouTube platform or as a search result on Google. In fact, today if you have been searching for things, you'll find that YouTube or video content is appearing a lot on Google searches. That's the power of knowing and understanding search engine optimization, that your piece of content can always be shown to people who are looking for that particular piece of content. And that is why you need to be clear when you are creating content, how you are going to optimize that particular video. You do not necessarily want your content to go viral, and I know this is very important to people who are on YouTube. They want virality. But if you want consistent and sustainable traffic, then you may need to look at also how you can be able to incorporate search into your pieces of content. I cannot finish this particular video without then looking at the equipment that you might need to be able to ensure that you have your YouTube channel up and running. A lot of people stop from starting a YouTube channel because they think they need to buy the latest equipment and gadgets to make it work. But if you are to look at that, then you might never start your YouTube channel. And I think that in most cases is usually an excuse that somebody uses to just not start, because starting is quite a daunting task. But with just your smartphone and internet data, you can use it to create pieces of content and upload across various platforms, and in this case upload on YouTube. And there are even video editing apps that use mobile phones, or that you can use on your mobile phones, that would make the whole art of creating content, editing it and uploading pretty seamless. But if you have the finances, if you have the money, you can also invest in a camera like the one that I have, and also a microphone which I'm using up here. So all these are things that can make your video process a little bit more interesting. But like I mentioned, you do not need the fancy gadgets. All you need is your phone and the idea for the content that we have discussed today are important if you are interested in creating videos and creating a YouTube channel. While you may need or you may not have all the skills that you need, I think what I'm learning from this particular journey is that you can continuously learn new things and keep improving. But the most important element is for you to start, because there will never be a perfect time when you have all your ducks in a row. You'll always feel inadequate to start. Maybe you have the phone or the camera, but maybe you feel you don't have the camera presence that you need, or there's something else that you do not have. And all those things can make you fail to start your YouTube channel. But if you are to start and learn on the job like everything else, you can continuously be improving. And I think, to me, that would be the best approach that you should take. It is the approach I'm taking. I didn't know about all this YouTube business, but it's something that I'm willing to learn each and every week, so that then by the time maybe a year is over, you look back and see that there has been improvement on the videos that you're creating, on how you are telling the story, and probably more importantly on the people that you are able to help with the content that you are creating.